Good morning and happy Tuesday. Sorry I'm a little late. I was kind of up late last night seeing Pink and Pat Benatar. So, first of all, an amazing show. I mean, incredible performers. If you've never seen Pink live, it's a heck of a show. It's Vegas meets rock concert with Cirque du Soleil. I mean, it's she's something, and she pours her heart out on the stage. I really was more excited to see Pat Benatar. I grew up with Pat Benatar, and I'd never seen her, and she actually started like a little bit before my time. I graduated high school in 1985, so when she first became a hit, I was like in junior high, and she didn't talk a lot to the crowd, but she mentioned that when she first started, there were really very few women in rock and roll. Stevie Nicks, obviously, and then of course Janis Joplin way back in the 60s. But Pat Benatar and Joan Jett were mavericks. The bands were named after them, and they were the lead of the band. And she said when she started, all of the promoters and everybody told her that women would never be able to fill a stadium, that a female rock band or a rock band with a female lead would never be able to fill a stadium. Well, you know, Taylor Swift, hello, but you look at Pink, and I mean, she's filling stadiums all over the country, and so is Pat Benatar, and the other bands that opened up were all female leads. And the other thing that whenever I see somebody in that situation, I get so inspired because, if you think that you're too old or you think that you've missed your window of opportunity in some way, I should have gone to college when I was younger. I should have gone to law school or dental school or whatever when I was younger. If in any way you feel like I had a chance some time ago and I missed it and now I don't have that chance, when you go see somebody like Pat Benatar, you've got to realize that that's just simply not true. Pat Benatar and her husband are 70 years old. And I'm sure that there was a point in their career where they were like, we're probably not going to perform in front of huge crowds ever again, that those days are gone. And now here she is, the two of them are out there in front of 70,000, well, it's not that much, but 50,000 people, whatever the stadium held. And it's not just that they're performing at an incredibly high level. I mean, they can still bring it. He can play the guitar like nobody's business. She can still sing like nobody's business. I mean, it was amazing to watch them. But the crowd went bananas for them. I mean, the crowd was there for them too. So to get to have that experience, we've talked about if you're from the United States, all the people in our politics, are all like 80. And, we can have a conversation as to whether or not that's a good or a bad thing. But, our current president, I mean, it looked like his political career was over a couple of times. Back when he had a brain bleed, it looked like his political career was over. And then he came back from that. And then when he didn't run, when Hillary Clinton ran because his son died, I mean, it looked like, okay, well, you're done. I mean, you've been a senator for whatever, 35 years, and then you were vice president for 2 terms. It's over. And then he gets elected president. And again, I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing or make a political statement. I'm saying even if you think your career is done, that's ridiculous. Even if you think you're too old or you missed your window of opportunity, time and time and time again, we see examples of people who probably thought that, and yet here they are doing something magnificent. Colonel Sanders didn't start Kentucky Fried Chicken until he retired in his 60s. And he got his first retirement check, Social Security check, and said, there's no way I can live off of this. What can I do? And that was back when the average age was about 65. And he started Kentucky Fried Chicken and ended up being one of the most well-known people in the world during his time. So I get so inspired watching somebody at that age come out and still perform at such a high level and still having the crowds behind them and enjoying that moment. I think that's so amazing to watch. And my takeaway for today is whatever you think you missed, you haven't. You haven't. If you always want, when I went to law school, very few students were like me, what we call traditional students, 4 years of college and right into law school. Most of the students I went to law school with had gone out in the workforce and come back, and some of them had careers. We had a nurse who was retired who ended up going to law school. She ended up becoming a judge. We had a police officer. I know one kid that went through law school with his dad. His dad had a career as an engineer, retired, and went to law school with his son, and then they both became lawyers. It is never too late to follow your dream, whatever that dream is or was. You always wanted to be a chef, go become a chef. You always wanted to be an ophthalmologist, well, go do it. You always wanted to be a chiropractor, well, go do it. You always wanted to be an architect, well, go do it. It is never too late. And if you were successful at one time in your life at something and you think that that's done, think again. Think again. Because time and time again, we see people resurrect their career when it looks like it's over. John Travolta has resurrected his career twice. Twice it's looked like his career is all done, and then he came back to have a whole nother career in acting in a whole nother genre of films. You know, J.K. Simmons, who's the guy that does the Farmers commercial, we are farmers, that guy, he won an Academy Award in his mid-70s after being involved in acting since he was 20 years old. That guy, he won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for Whiplash. He was a secondary character in movie after movie after movie after movie after movie. That has been his role forever. And then in his 70s, wins an Academy Award. So wherever you are on your journey, understand that it's not done. And whatever it is that you want to accomplish, age doesn't matter. You can still figure out how to get that accomplished and how to do that. And I was so inspired watching Pat and her husband last night, watching them play. It was tremendous. I had so much fun watching them do their thing. And let me tell you, they brought it, and it was impressive. If you get a chance to go see that show, I know they're playing in Houston in not too long. If you get a chance to go see that show, go see it. It is well worth the time. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Robert, thanks so much for hopping on. Terry, great to see you, sir. I hope life is well with you. Janet, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it when everybody takes the time to listen. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.